The protest, of course, sparked by the death of George Floyd. His arrest happened last weekend, Monday, Memorial Day. Former officer Derek Chauvin has been charged. Earlier this evening, we learned he has been moved from the Hennepin County Jail into the Oak Park Heights prison. We are told that is not an uncommon thing to do. He faces third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter things. And it's not uncommon. They moved him for two reasons. Number one, they had a large number of people coming in from protesters they arrested tonight, and two, some concerns they told us about COVID. The other big development on the legal side is that today Governor Tim Walz has said that Attorney General Keith Ellison will lead the prosecution of the George Floyd case. Before, Hennepin County Prosecutor Mike Freeman was in charge.
And today, a large protest of thousands met at U.S. Bank Stadium and then went to 3 locations to take a knee at the stadium, the Hennepin Avenue Bridge, and I-35W. It really was a large group, and they were very, very peaceful. And then this happened. A semi drove right into a crowd there. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. We still haven't been able to find out what exactly had happened because the Department of Public Safety, the state had shut down the highways. They originally were planning on doing that at around 8 o'clock, so they started earlier, 3 hours earlier, 5 o'clock, because they said that they wanted to make the highways a little bit safer for the peaceful protesters, for them to be able to walk across.
We can let you know who was driving that semi. His name is Bogdan Verchenko. He's charged with assault from right now. We understand he's from Ohio. The company is from Ohio. He, I think, had a Minnesota address.
Yes.
The company says that he was an independent contractor. There are a lot of conflicting reports exactly trying to figure out.
Jen can help us out with that.
Oh, so happy you're here, Jen. I thought you had gone. I couldn't make enough sense over what Paul Schnell was saying in reference to what Harrington said earlier. So we're glad you're here. We'll let you take it away.
Right,
Thanks for clearing it up.
There are some questions still out there, and one thing I do want to clear up, he is not charged with assault yet. He's just being held on assault in the Hennepin County Jail, but does have a Minnesota address, a 35-year-old. Here's what we don't know right now. We don't know why he was on the interstate or how he was still on the interstate. Some conflicting reports about him being told that he was already on the interstate. And here's what we do know, though, Frank and Amelia, is that there was very little warning given to even us, the media, who was disseminating this information, that the interstates were going to close at 5 o'clock versus 8 o'clock, which is what had already been reported earlier in the day. So virtually no warning given to anyone, even us. By the time we got that information, it was almost 5 o'clock for us to start telling people. Truck drivers, other drivers may not have known this was happening. Some now telling us that this could have gone much differently if this driver didn't know how to stop his vehicle, that there was a honk or some kind of a warning, and that had it jackknifed or done something else could have caused so much more damage, and it could definitely have hurt people. But potentially this driver did his best to stop on the interstate, despite what it looks like on in that video. So many different questions, so many different answers that we are still looking for tonight, but definitely a lot of different opinions on how this could have happened, how that driver could have been there, and the fact that some are saying that this may not have been intentional, as some are alluding to. Lots of questions that we are working to get answers to. We are still asking for answers from officials tonight, and we will continue to do so into the morning, bringing people the very latest information as we get it, as we try to kind of piece together how this happened, how it could have happened, and why that driver was there, potentially what to make sense of what we saw.
It's interesting that you say that, because a couple of people had emailed me, tweeted me, said that they could hear the horn, him holding down the horn for a long stretch of time, for about 15-20 seconds or so.
And a vehicle like that can't just stop like one of our cars. You don't just put on the brake and you can come to a complete stop.
Yeah.
You've got so much weight behind you. It's a slow process to get to a stop, and so when you're coming fast. So we just don't know exactly how that happened, but if you're hearing a horn, if it's coming to a stop, this may have in fact stopped a further tragedy from happening if a truck had spun out or jackknifed or something onto that road. So very thankful at the very least that we're hearing no injuries from this. So that's the good news. No matter how this happened, that's the best news, is that no injuries to people who are on that bridge.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Sure.
Not far from that bridge at Interstate 35W in Washington, we saw about 150 people, according to the Department of Public Safety, arrested. We'll make sure we put up a really interesting piece because when you see all the chaos involving the arrest, and then you see Mike Max's story that we'll make sure we keep available to you about some of the police and protesters interacting later. It's really quite a journey to go from one thing to another in the course of 2 hours, but overall, peaceful day.
Yes, lots of signs of solidarity and community. In fact, I just found out that the We Love Lake Street Fund to help rebuild has raised more than $2 million right now. Target is pledging to rebuild their store in that neighborhood. So we want to leave you on some positive notes.
That's a great sign of hope.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Updates on stories all throughout the course of the day at WCCO.com. And of course, join us tomorrow morning. The news begins right here at 4:30 a.m. and continues through the course of the day. And Amelia and I will see you at 5, 6, and 10 on Monday night.
Have a good night.